All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. This is Music Maniacs with myself, Dr. Earl, and Prince Idol.
What's
And
going on
what's going
here?
on, everybody? And we are doing well. Everything's going good with each other's ends. Now, unfortunately for now, both Paul 3 and YR are unable to make it, unfortunately. Paul 3 said that he may be a little bit late for some reason. YR is unavailable at the moment. Right up there. So unfortunately, we'll have to just make do with what we got right now, which is Prince and myself. Prince has a few
Yes.
topics he wants to talk about, regarding to music and everything else. I got a couple things I want to speak upon, and let me start off with something that YR mentioned. He sent me a video of Ozzy Osbourne and his wife and manager Sharon doing something for a YouTube channel called Band Trophy Hunting. And I guess it's where you go to places like Africa and you kill animals and hang up his trophies, get the takes what's it called? The Tarxinata, what's it called? Where they take the insides out and put stuffing in them in a particular position, I guess.
Right.
Taxidermist, taxidermist. That's what I
Yes.
prefer to call that. I'm gonna play the okay. Paul 3 wants to be added to the call. I'm going to do that right now, folks. Give me a couple seconds there.
Okay.
All right, good, good.
Okay.
All
Now we
right
got the
there.
show up and running. Here
All
we
right,
go.
all right there. Let me get you up on the mixer, Paul. Give
Want
a
me to add
couple
him
of
in?
minutes.
I can add him in if
Go
you want.
right ahead. Go right ahead, dude. All right there. So Paul is going to be added to the call. He said he was going to be a little bit late. So okay, Paul. Here we go. But in the meantime, back to the
Here
subject.
you are, Paul.
There you are, Paul. What's going on, dude?
Oh, another day, another dollar. What's going on? How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. Everything
Doing good.
is
Oh, you look good, man.
all right. Everything's
Got the
dandy
shaggy
over
look
here.
going on.
Nice, pretty much there, except the little goat. Well, I see the goatee on the bottom of your chin there. Only thing now is
Yeah,
just a couple of Scooby snacks and a Scooby himself with you.
Yeah.
I shaved, so now I look like my mother. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's like looks good, man.
Yeah, I got to get the beard back. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. How
You
you
said
doing?
I shaved and now I look like my mother. That is the most bizarre comment I've ever heard in my life.
It's
That's
true though.
bizarre.
It's so
Earl,
true.
if you shave, are you gonna look like your sister?
Am I gonna what?
I said, if you shave, are you gonna look like your sister or your mom?
No, more like my dad.
Now that's a common goal. That's the common goal. But I never heard someone say I shave to look like my mother. That
Because I
is
have long
scary.
hair.
Well, but then again, I my face structure is kind of like my dad's. Probably when I
Yeah,
get off
I look like my
probably
mom.
when I get off the call here, I'll definitely post a picture of him from years ago.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I'd like
definitely
to see
there.
your dad.
Okay, there. A lot of I did that on my Facebook page, and a lot of people say you look just like him. He looks just like you. So I kind of see where we're going here.
Hey
Anyways,
Earl, before we get into the show really quick, I just want to ask, how did you like the? I actually, for everybody out there listening, I actually sent Earl some of my band's original music, and I'd really like to know if you actually liked it or what you thought about it.
I did, man. It's pretty good stuff there. It is pretty good stuff. I like it. It's like should be a
Oh,
hit single.
I also because we haven't sorry to cut you off, guys. We also have breaking news. Breaking news, and yes, it's coming from yours truly, the man of wrestling on this show, the man of wrestling and music. Breaking news. Yes, and this is for Paul 3. You're going to be upset when I break this news. It's not a spoiler, it's not a headline. Tyson put himself in this position. So, WWE, when they launched their deal with Netflix, remember, Netflix is also the same people that hosted
The
Jake Paul
Tice,
and Mike
yes, that
Tyson,
fight
right?
on
So
this
check this
Friday.
out. WWE is going to have WWE Hall of Famer Mike Tyson go one on one with Logan Paul
Really?
under
So,
Netflix. Yes, sir. They're gonna try to fuck this
Genius.
motherfucker up. They're trying to fuck Mike Tyson over, bro. They're trying to
oh
kill him.
boy.
Did you hear what Logan Paul said to Mike Tyson
He
during
said,
the
"Mike,
like
I'll
post?
kill you.
He said, "I'll fucking kill you."
Kill you."
That's pretty harsh
Really?
words. Yeah, that's pretty harsh words to
Yeah,
say
but by the
to
way, speaking of
anybody.
speaking of Mike
No, Netflix
Tyson,
has a deal with WWE, and Netflix was the same people that host that same fight. So now they're gonna do part two. It's just that it's Logan versus Tyson now, as what Mike Tyson set himself up for. He said, "I want to face."
That's
He did say that. Remember, at the end of the fight, he said, "I want to face his brother now," and his brother's response was, "Mike, I'll kill you."
that's
Dude,
gonna be crazy too. It's gonna be a WWE match. Is that what we're saying? Because I mean,
That's the
surely it's
WWE
gonna be a
script underneath
kind of
WWE.
funny is that the last time he was involved with WWE, but then known as the WWF, was when he was like the guest referee between Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Exactly. He's always made a pair.
WrestleMania 14.
Mike Tyson's always had a connection with WWE. That's why I wasn't surprised that they would do that. That's probably why he went after Logan, because he knew, okay, I have another Brown in me, but this time it's going to be under my terms. I get the final say so. Even though
Yeah.
like even though they try like okay, he's doing it to collect a bag. That's how I see it. He's going to get another bag out of it.
Yeah,
They're
but
going
what's
to have a
Mike
good
Tyson gonna
chance.
wrestle? He's not gonna wrestle, is he? Like, what? How is that gonna
It's
work?
gonna be like a boxing like they did with Floyd Mayweather and Big Show. It's gonna be
Oh,
Like they did with Mr. T and Rowdy Roddy Piper at the second
yes,
WrestleMania back in 1986. That's how it
yes.
was. That's how they're going to be doing it.
History's repeating itself, guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
History's repeating itself.
it's just gonna be a spectacle. It's not gonna be like a
Thank you.
official, yeah,
Yes. You know how
boxing
W
match or anything.
does the watered down shit. You know what I'm talking about. You know how W does it. I said the watered down shit. You know how
Oh
W does
wow.
the little hype. Oh my God, we got Mike Tyson and Organs.
You kind of do look like your dad, Earl. The
Yep.
same
Yeah. I
face
just.
shape.
Yep. Exactly. The same glasses, since I often wear glasses myself. There, such and such. The only difference
Yeah.
Okay.
is my hair is a lot more currently longer than his. He always kept his hair short.
So what are
I
we
wish I
doing?
had a.
What are we doing as far as music? What's the news and
Well,
music?
the thing I
Some
wanted to get to was this thing that YR sent me. She said, check out my comment on this video, which I'm about to play for you. It's from a YouTube channel called Ban Trophy Hunting. It has only 9 subscribers, and it says, Sharon Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, let's get trophy hunting banned. All right, I'm going to
Hmm.
play the video for it right now as loud as I can.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne. Let's get trophy hunting banned.
Come on, you guys. All we do is talk about it. Let's get it done. Let's get the ban done now. Not
Let's
next
get
year.
trophy hunting banned. Come on, guys.
We can do it. See this shirt? My husband designed this. You can buy it online. The money goes to the cause. Please, please get it banned now. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, YR said in the comments section, and he said this under his Master Concerts account, stop eating bats and doves, then we can talk about legal hunting. And the 2 replies came afterwards, one saying, he's not the typical Hollywood people. I love those two. And then another individual said, legal hunting, ha 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 ha.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like okay. So in my point of view, it's a righteous cause because I do think it's kind of bullshit. Like when they go
I
out
do.
and kill giraffes and lions, I don't like that. I hate that
Yeah, I don't
rhinoceroses.
agree with it myself, and I think I just don't see the real purpose of it. But then again, you know how hunters are when it comes to that. A lot of
But
people hunt for sport, a lot of people hunt. There are hunters out there who hunt for basically because they don't trust supermarket meat. Because I remember years back being told that somehow the meat in various supermarkets are kind of like being tampered with. So I guess this is their
It's
way
back.
of going for the
It's
natural
back
good
into
meat,
play.
like Ted
and,
Nugent.
and And like the flip side of that is, while I believe in that cause, the last thing I want is a celebrity, especially like somebody like Sharon Osbourne, who's notorious for like screwing people over, like Bob
That's
Daisley,
true.
like and Jakey Lee. I don't want somebody like that
And Lee
shouting at me for a
Kerslake.
cause, like yeah, and Lee Curse, like say all of the guys. So I don't want somebody like that who's actually kind of a piece of shit, like shouting at me to change the world. I don't want that.
Well, let's not forget, I guess a lot of people are gonna go off on the same reason they're going after Ozzy for making this video because obviously we all know he bit the head off of the dove while in while having alcohol in the system during that record company meeting. And let's not forget that situation, I believe it was in Boston, Massachusetts back in 1982. Somebody on stage threw a bat on there, and Ozzy thought it was like a little plastic toy or something, bit it off until he realized, oh shit, this bat was real. They had to take him down to some sort of a clinic or hospital where they gave him rabies shots. If I understand, those hurt like hell. Now, afterwards, I guess in remorse for what he did, Ozzy donated thousands of dollars to an anti cruelty society to animals, in which he received a lifetime membership card. And I guess one of the new rules was fans not bring in any small animals or pets like birds or anything like that to Ozzy shows. I remember hearing that on the local radio station when his concert was announced afterwards. So I
The
guess,
fact
oh,
that the head over a bat, that is fucking insane. Yeah, Osbourne, you crazy son of a bitch. Rock and roll. I like it.
well,
I like
let's not forget Ozzy, when he did that when he did that biting the head off a dove in that record company meeting there, this was what's sign his record deal. Basically, he was here in the States, he was signed to a label called Jet Records, which was home of also the Electric Light Orchestra. At that time, they were under CBS's distribution years before it became Sony Music. Now, Ozzy had alcohol in this system, obviously. I guess
No,
what it's a celebration of what they would do when the deal was done, all was all ready to roll. They would open up this cage and all the doves would fly out. That's a celebration. One of the doves landed on Ozzy's lap. Ozzy, not knowing what he was doing because he was toasted at this point, rip, and just that was it.
can,
Now he
can, I-
got
can I?
banned. Now he got banned from the record company's offices, but they put out his album either way. And it fits to say that that controversy helped sell the first album, Blizzard of Oz, very, very well. It went up to number 15.
Now, Earl, you blame it on the alcohol, but let me just ask you a
Hmm.
question. Let me pose a question here to both
Hmm.
you guys. Say if you have a lot of drinks, and a pigeon flies on your lap. Are you ever going to be inclined, no matter how drunk you are, to grab it and bite the head off of it? Are you ever
No,
going to be?
no,
No,
I
that's
could never.
almost
I could never
like
do that.
that's like me getting wasted with Jack Daniels and then looking at Paul Three's ear and deciding to bite it.
Like,
Yeah.
Like Tyson
like
No.
did with
Tyson
Vander
Jr. over here.
Holyfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. No, but like that just I don't know. I think that goes deeper than just the alcohol. I don't know. Ozzy, he's had to got some therapy over the years because man, that dude did some
Crazy
insane
shit.
shit.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did. Let's not forget, he urinated at the Alamo, which got him
Why?
banned from that area
Why?
for how many years? I think, I guess to this very day, they still make remarks about that situation. They still would make jokes here and there about the bat biting incident. I mean, it's not going to go away, obviously. I mean, even his daughter Kelly even mentioned, like, they still can't get over the fact that he did that during that show in Massachusetts years ago. Because obviously, no one has ever done that before. I mean, no one ever did anything that crazy, that outlandish. I mean, like, but then again, when you do something but let me put it this way: some people have done even worse when they're drunk.
Yeah, and Ozzy is maybe it was I don't know if I couldn't say it was Sharon's idea, but maybe Ozzy was kind of wise and smarter than we all think, and he knows that if he does something like this, then he'll get publicity and it'll help his solo career and he'll continue to gain stardom and be in the news and be talked about. So I mean, it could be something like that, or he could just
Maybe.
be insane. Who knows? Either one.
Well, I guess the saying goes that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Wherever you get it from, doing good or doing bad, but any kind of publicity helps no matter what. It's obviously.
I don't know about that anymore. I feel like there's definitely bad publicity these days that you could
Yeah,
get
that's true. Thanks to
labeled.
social media. I mean, like, look at all the Look, all the outlandish shit that they say about, let's say, porn star Riley Reid. She was trending on X for some dumb reason, and people are like, what? What? Why is she trending on here? Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's trending on X that I question why it's trending.
I
I have
know,
no
except
idea.
with the exception of
Sean
the
wants
Black
he
Sabbath
likes
or
freedom of
Iron Maiden and
speech.
Guns
He
N'
likes
Roses.
freedom of speech, and he lets people do what they want. Which is I don't know, man. There's a lot of things on X, bro. There's a lot of nasty shit on there, bro.
I know.
Yeah,
So I
there's
Like
called it out in the video I did.
used to
Like
be
all these
what
dumb
used to
broads.
be a place where you can just tweet has turned into a sex opera like it's yeah, bro. Like they have a lot of sex on there, a lot of porn. Like it's turned into a Bitcoin thing now. Like everyone's making money just by posting weird shit on there.
Exactly. And what I called it out in the video I did last night is where all these women, they do these sexy poses like, oh, I'm wearing my new hot outfit, doing a mirror selfie in some skimpy ass bikini with stupid captions up above like, would you able to handle me? Could you give me the love that I desire? Could you do this for me? It's like I've seen it so many times, and like the
Oh
worst
my
are
god,
the
yeah, yeah.
worst is these thick ass broads with the ass sticking out so damn much you could not only
Oh,
put a
yo,
crate of eggs on there and not fall over, but also a dinner tray, a couple of kegs of beer, and it still
oh,
stay in place. That's how far that ass would stick out.
Earl, you are a character, Earl. I love you. You said, "Can you satisfy me? Can you open my leg?"
That's what they usually post on these dumb photos of themselves. They try to look all seductive. They try to look all sexy when they're not. They're not
well,
Paul,
they're
sexy. They're
trying,
not. They're
dude.
trying to be
They're trying,
cool.
they're
Paul,
trying
he
to
said,
bait.
"Can you satisfy me? Can you open
Yeah,
my leg?"
you got to clip that one.
Exactly. But
They're
that's
just,
something.
they're just.
But then again, you see my point. You see these dumb broads, black and white, trying to look all hot, cool, sexy, and all that stuff. Fuck
They're
that.
just trying to bait old men to give them money, okay, and simps and shit to give them money. That's
Exactly,
that's all that
precisely. And they're
is.
also seeking something else that women desire most of all, the attention. They love the attention. That's what they love. They desire the attention. To them, attention makes them fulfilled. It makes them happy. It makes them enlightened. Women love attention. There was a counselor who sadly passed away in 2002 named Kevin Samuels. He said it best: women love attention, no matter how they get it. It's a sad thing. If That's why they cheat on their husbands because he works so hard. Because that husband comes home, he's tired as fuck. He wants to lay down, relax. And wife doesn't get no attention, so she cheats on him with some schmowad who probably has a few arrest warrants under his belt.
Yeah, I think you can go both ways, bro. I really do. I think
It's,
just people in general are flawed. Human
Society
beings are
altogether is
terrible.
flawed, no matter what, especially
Yeah.
today's society. But
Oh
when you
yeah.
think, but on to the thing here, I remember hearing about a few times, some person on the radio station talking about seeing U2 live, and the guy was like complaining that Bono spent too much time talking about whichever situation was going on in Africa at that time. Of course, there's always situations going on there, no matter what. And the guy was like, "We just want to hear you play the songs that we know and love by heart. Do we need to hear about 15 minutes of you talking about what's going on in Africa for fucking crying out loud?" I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, I make it a point too, like with my music, that I don't write about any sort of preachy stuff or any causes. I just try to write about things that, you can kind of universally like see or feel. Like I really don't like being preached at or preaching to people at all. So,
Nobody likes being preached at, especially when I'm being told, please don't wear that trench coat. It makes me uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Take what's in front of you. Too many assholes, too many Karens, too many male and female Karens out there doing this bullshit. Jeez.
oh yeah.
I mean, like,
No,
jeez,
no,
come
I
on.
agree.
Yeah.
No, we live in a society of complaining pussies, pretty much is what it
Yep.
is, what it
Pansy
boils
ass
down to.
bitches. Exactly. But here's somebody I'm going to bring up that really has taken the political spectrum way too far. Roger Waters, formerly of Pink Floyd. Apparently, he got himself in big trouble because apparently he was posting in support of Russia going after Ukraine long while back. And I guess
I mean,
Roger, I mean, of course, David Gilmour's wife Polly Sampson called him out, and Gilmour obviously agreed. In fact, here's something else. The sale of their catalog, likeness, and name was delayed a few times because of Waters' political activism. Remember, he was in Israel, and I guess he kind of like got himself a little bit of trouble when he wrote the words "We don't need no thought control" on one of the walls up there. He was questioned heavily about that. I mean, he's been very political in his viewpoints. He said, now, I don't know about this is true or not, but he said that Joe Biden was a war criminal. He called out Donald Trump. He went after Margaret Thatcher when she was Prime Minister of England.
well, I mean, look at the the Ukraine-Russia war. I think it's all terrible. I don't, I think they should
It
just
is,
stop in general. There's on the low side, there's 600,000. I think Ukrainians that have been killed, and on the high side, there's 1 million. So I mean, like, what are we doing at this point? Who are we fighting for? Rich bureaucrats, the war machine. It's all bullshit. It's about to trigger World War III. I mean, so either side, supporting either side I think is wrong because you're supporting war. So I just want to say all of it's bullshit and needs to stop. There needs to be some sort of ceasefire and a resolution because people shouldn't die for politicians. That shit makes me sick.
which was the point of the song War Pigs by Black Sabbath, bottom line. I mean, we already had that with the last two Gulf Wars we had under Bush 41 and 43. And let's not forget all this the situation in Vietnam, we're under Richard Nixon. And here's something else I need to bring up. Like I understand Waters lost his father, Aaron Fletcher Waters, back in 1945 during the Second War. I guess 41 or 45. I'm not too sure which year it
Yes.
was, but he was in the British Army. He died in World War II. Imagine knowing that your father was killed overseas during battle. That's going to leave you kind of like with a void inside of your psyche and your heart. I mean, like knowing that your father died for some cause, which was planned by the government.
Psyche.
Absolutely, yeah, that'll definitely plant a seed in you early on to kind of
It's going to
rebel
be.
against any sort of shit like that.
I mean, you may remember this woman named I forgot her last name, but her name was Cindy. What's her name? Hashin or something like that. It's been a long while, but she was calling out George Bush because her son died overseas during the second Gulf War. And she's like, how long is this going to go on, President Bush? How long? But yet she was blaming George Bush instead of the guys who actually killed her son because obviously they feel
Well,
it was Bush's idea who started the war to begin with.
yeah, and Dick Cheney, because he owned Halliburton. Halliburton was making the parts for all that shit in the war. I
Right.
mean, so there you go. The industrial war complex circles right back around to the vice president. I mean, that was some of the most corrupt times in history. And then with the Patriot Act and all that shit that it brought down, I mean, Bush was a terrible, terrible fucking president.
Yeah,
Horrible.
so it fits to say that what went
Wait, wait,
on
wait.
during.
Which one? Which one? Because there's two of them: the son or the
Bush,
dad.
Well,
no,
let's
no,
not
no.
forget.
George
Well,
W. Bush.
the
Yeah,
Bush
which one? He had
43.
his father
Bush
was
for
president.
Bush
Junior,
Jr.
Junior,
Oh,
Junior,
Bush Jr.
Junior.
Yes, Bush 43.
oh, he was. Oh my God, he was crazy.
And let's not forget Bush 41 was not that good either. Remember, he went back on his word saying no new taxes. The first Gulf War caused a big recession a year later. A lot of bands had to tour together as package tours as a result later on that summer. I mean, like a lot of people were getting unemployed and everything else, being laid off left and right, because of the money being used to support the first Gulf War, obviously.
And Prince and well, Prince, I think you're around my age, but we weren't really even alive with Bush Senior. I think Clinton came in
I
office in
was a lot.
92.
No, no. Well,
92, I think Clinton came in office, so maybe we had like a
I
couple
was a young
years
kid
of.
because I'm 28 now. I'm 20. I was a young kid
Oh
when he was
shit,
in
you
office.
weren't. No, you definitely were not in office or were alive for Bush
No,
Senior.
I'm older
But
than you cats. I was around. I remember I was a young child when Vietnam was still going on up until about I believe 1974. I didn't know
wow,
about it
yeah,
until I got into high school. That's when I learned about it in junior high and high school. That's when I started to learn about how atrocious that war was and the effects it had on all the veterans and soldiers over there, and how badly
yeah,
they were
and
poorly treated when they got back home.
yeah, that's what makes me sick. I just want to say, yeah, Prince, I definitely have a couple years on you. I thought we were a little close in age, but yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, Dr. Earl, I always want to point that out anytime that's brought up. We treated the Vietnam vets like absolute shit when they got back here. People spit on them. I mean, and absolutely just degraded them for going to war. But you know what kind of like put some, it kind of warmed my heart. It was a couple weeks ago. I think it was on Veterans Day,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw. They showed a veteran, a lone veteran in the crowd. They gave him like a standing ovation. He was wearing a Vietnam vet hat, and I thought,
Mhm.
wow, how beautiful and how awesome that times have changed in that regard for those guys to actually
Yeah,
get some respect from all the shit that they endured for all those years. So,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
if you know a
Vietnam was a
Vietnam vet,
tough war, though.
it was brutal, man. If you know a
It
Vietnam vet,
was.
fucking thank him out there, brother. I mean, that was very brutal.
Great man to that. You know, and it saddens me in particular that they had to take after the first Gulf War for everybody to say their thank yous, their praises, their acknowledgments of all those Vietnam veterans out there. It had to take afterwards the first Gulf War to occur because when they got back, they were like, "Hey, it was a party. It was a huge amount of respect shown to these soldiers for fighting for our country." Blah blah blah. But also, let me point this out, and I think everybody on this call and everybody watching would definitely agree. What Bush 41 of 41 did, in terms of war, how the economy was, that the purposes was, their involvement with Skull and Bones, they get more power,
Yeah,
what better way through oil, obviously. That kind of stuff led to the majority of the people here in the States to turn towards the liberal side of the disgruntlement. And let's not forget, many times, people within the conservative side have often start, telling them, well, you got to be like this, you got to be what we tell you, you got to be this, you got to be that, and
hmm,
kids cannot really relate to that. So that kind of fits to say that that kind of the stuff pushed most of the people here in the States in towards the liberal side of things, needless to say.
absolutely. Absolutely, that's why a lot of Bernie Sanders voters are kind of known to be Trump voters now, Trump
Mhm.
supporters, because, it kind of ebbs and flows really in a way, because like the Republican Party was pushing away a lot of counterculture people and not anybody different, and they just kind of wanted the same, you have to conform, and then, everybody swang Democrat. But then when they realized that the Democratic Party had been overtaken by corruptness and warmongers. Now everybody's kind of swinging red because now the Republican side is the counterculture party and the people who are accepting diverse people and really anybody who just wants to be free and make money and be a God bless to be an American pretty much.
I know. I guess what it is that so many people feel like they're being put on the spot, and I guess just really makes no sense. I understand the fact that they want to be themselves, they want to stand out in the crowd, they want to be their own unique individual. But the problem is, they have some sort of a parental figure trying to prevent them from that. That's going to cause a lot of rebelliousness, a lot of resentment. What's that? Hmm.
That was
What
my
was
wife
that?
in the back. My wife is in the
Oh,
back.
Okay. What up, Mrs.
She's
Three?
making dinner. She
Ah,
was
nice.
making dinner and she was swearing.
I'm doing. Kind of remind me when Keith was on the
You
call.
mean my wife that I gave you? That's my ex-wife,
Yeah,
by the way.
they heard you. Hey, say hi, Earl, and hi, Prince. So you hear that?
Hello, Mrs. Three.
They said hello, Mrs. Three.
Mrs. Three. Mrs. Three. Oh
Well, I don't
God,
know his
that's
real
too
last
much.
name. I'm not going to reveal that out of respect.
That's good enough. Mrs. Three, that's classic. I'm gonna call her that from now on.
Yes, it's a but when a lot of times, we've seen musicians, get involved with the political structures, trying to convince people to see their side of points. I mean, like not just Hollywood. Like I know Tom Cruise gave a massive ass, activist speech in terms of saving the environment. I know Michael J. Fox, he was in Congress testifying about more treatment should be done for Parkinson's disease, which I agree 100% on. I mean, when you look at him now, he's in a wheelchair. He's not the same as he used to be. And I wonder if that's going to
No.
happen. I wonder if that's going to happen with either Ozzy or Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. What does he have exactly? Is it ALS?
ALS, well, it's Parkinson's.
Oh, Parkinson's.
Yes,
Yeah,
both
well,
both Ozzy and Glenn Tipton have Parkinson's disease. Now, Glenn
yeah.
Tipton, thank goodness, is able to still stand and play guitar for now. He was able to do that. I guess he's still a member of Priest, but he's only able to perform in the studio only, whereas Andy Sneap does his bits live on tour.
Yeah, that makes sense because a disease like that, it definitely like slows you down and you probably have to be on like a myriad of drugs and everything to kind of manage it. So yeah, Parkinson's and touring, that's definitely not a good combination at all. That has to be very, very tough.
It is, yeah. So shout out to Ozzy and Glenn Tipton for surviving. They're going through their issues. So a lot of support and love to them as well. In fact, love and support to Michael J. Fox and everybody else that's dealing with this particular issue. In fact, any medical issue that you're going through, love and support from all of us to you, boys and girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, when you now, we have yet to hear Brett Michaels from Poison be an advocate for diabetes research. I know that for a fact because he's type 1. He's had it since
He
I
he was
always
a
is.
thought he was a
kid.
cool dude.
Yeah.
I always was a fan of him.
Now, we also have yet to see, I know a lot of musicians out there who recovered from drugs. I know they get on the spot and say, hey, don't do what we did. It was not the wrong thing to, it was not the right thing to do. I remember one time Grace Slick from the Jefferson Airplane, who had reformed at around 1989, the original lineup got back together with the exception of their original drummer, and one of the first things they were asked was about the song White Rabbit, which kind of like was a take on the Alice in Wonderland story. And of course, like in a way, Slick was trying to. She basically was almost like apologizing for writing and recording that song because she said that we were so naive at that time, like we didn't realize how much a commotion that song was going to cause at the time
Oh,
being.
no, that's one of the all-time like psychedelic songs. White Rabbit is a classic.
It is.
One pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small.
But
Yeah,
when you
no,
think of,
that's some good shit.
yeah, no, it's kind of unique how they did it because they mixed in with a children's story, mixed in with the drug usage, and it kind of like seems fitting together because it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it kind of like shouts like "feed your head" at the end of it, like a couple
Yep.
times. Like, oh my
Timothy
goodness.
Leary was, I guess he was the one who started that phrase, feed your
And
head,
let's not forget the Moody Blues song "Legend of a Mind," where
which
they
is
said
about Timothy Leary. Exactly.
Timothy Leary
Gotta love
stand
that band.
alone and alone. Oh, I love the Moody Blues as
Oh
well.
man, rest in
Amazing
peace,
band.
Mike. Rest in peace, Mike Pinder and Ray Thomas and Graham Edge. Now
Yes.
it's sadly, it's
Yes.
now just Justin Hayward and John Lodge, the only ones left, and they're not gonna go as the Moody Blues. Hell no, because that's like, come on. If they go on the
Yeah,
road,
Justin.
it just wouldn't be right, you know.
No, Justin Hayward is actually touring solo now in my area. I think he's
Oh,
actually going to be here.
nice.
I might get some tickets for that. But what's your favorite Moody Blues album, really quick?
Well, there's a few of them that I prefer. I like every to our children's. There's also a question of balance. Seventh Shore Inn. You know, those they have some
Yeah.
good songs on those three there. Of course, we cannot. I would go say Days of Future Past, but that's kind of like overrated. I think me and Argnoia spoke about that album at one point, and during our look at albums that made a
Whatever
huge
happened to
impact.
that guy?
No,
It
I
is not
tried.
overrated, bro.
You know, I guess he may. I guess he departed. I guess he left the music show, and he never informed me or whatsoever. I made a video requesting you'll get a hold of me, let me know what's going on with him, and no response, unfortunately, none at all.
Hmm. That's pretty crazy, though. The idea that Days of Future Past is overrated. I mean, maybe in a small circle of music fans, it's overrated, but on the grand scheme of things, is it overrated though? Like,
Well,
I would
and
put.
however, I guess it's one of the big albums that they talk about all the time because of the fact it had Tuesday Afternoon and Nights in White Satin, like especially
I
Nights
think
in
it's
White Satin.
yes, yes, but I like it's the journey because you have like the morning, the peak morning, and then you have like
Lunch
it
break,
goes.
afternoon, late evening, at
Yes,
nighttime.
yes.
Yes, unique. And no album has ever done that before. A mixture of their recordings along with the orchestra arrangements when you think about it there.
I mean, that's so good. So, on the grand scheme of things, it's hard for me to say that album is really overrated because
Right.
it's just so good. I mean, yes,
It
there are
is.
hits on the
It is
album,
absolutely,
but
yeah.
I don't think hits on an album make the album less good. It doesn't make it overrated for me because when those songs were written, they weren't hits. They didn't know they would be hits necessarily. So, I mean, it's all in line with the concept and it all works kind of perfectly for me. So, just because it's a hit doesn't really influence my listening through the whole playthrough. So,
I know.
Days of Future Past, I love it. Seventh Sojourn is great. To Our Children's Show, another great one. So, yeah, I love the Moody Blues. I'm a
In
super,
Search of the
super big
Lost
fan.
Chord, that's a good one
Oh,
there.
oh my God, they're all good. Moody
Yes,
Blues
the
are
Core
super,
7.
super underrated.
The Core 7 that we're speaking of, ladies and gentlemen. The Core 7 albums that they put it out up until about 19, up until about, I guess, the 7th Sorgin album, I guess. Those
Yeah,
are the ones that many people look for, all the Moody Blues fans out there.
yeah, Mike Pinder, and yeah, like you mentioned him on the Mellotron. I mean, phew, it doesn't get much better than that. Sorry,
Absolutely,
Perks, I cut you off.
I couldn't agree anymore. It's like but going back to all these musicians like Pearl Jam advocating for this cause, or for example, they're advocating for that cause. It's like like I remember this one, the industrial group Skinny Puppy. They were kind of like activists for animal rights, anti-vivisection, which, as you know, is testing chemicals and cosmetics on animals, as you know. And I've seen photos of how it was done. Pretty disturbing, needless to say. In
Yeah,
1988, they put out a song called Tester, which is still played at underground clubs to this very day. That song came out in 1988. And it fits to say, and I mentioned this to a couple other people, that song kind of like got the anti-cruelty to animals movement going, the animal rights league going on as well. That kind of like pushed that agenda into the mainstream when you think about it, because back then, up until that, prior to that song coming out, the only time you hear about these heinous things being done to various animals was in the back of some black and white tabloid magazine, and that was about it. And the only two celebrities at that time that was speaking on behalf of animal rights was Betty White and Bob Barker. In fact, you may remember Bob Barker had it in his contract no mink coats being given away as prizes when he was the host of The Price is Right. I know Jimmy
and at
Stewart,
the end, he always said, at the end, Bob Barker always said, "Remember to spay and neuter your pets."
that's true there. Now, also, let's keep in mind, now, soon after that song came out, to Skinny Puppy's Tester, I'm speaking of, a lot of activism for animal rights came about. I know Wax Trax Records put out a compilation called Animal Liberation with songs of that order. I remember there was this one song by Lena Lovitch and forgot the other participant. It was a song called "Don't Kill the Animals." I think it's here on YouTube.
Well,
And
you can always remember the song in the '70s. If you want to go back to activism, "Don't Kill the Whale" by Yes was also a pretty
hmm
big song.
yeah, exactly. I remember that song. They came out in 1978 to be exact.
Yep, yep. I mean, there's still a lot of advocates, for not killing whales and killing sea life. But yeah, that goes way back there, and that's a damn good song too.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. Most definitely. Now, I want to ask about this song by Peter Gabriel, "Shock the Monkey." Do you guys believe that was a pre, pre anti-cruelty song about vivisection prior to Skinny Puppy's Tester? Because I always thought it was. Let me see if I can look it up for you. Like maybe I may
I
wrong,
mean,
maybe wrong.
now that you're saying "Shock the Monkey," I kind of like I can relate it to that. But before, I never really related it to animal cruelty or anything. I just thought it was like a funny, funky saying.
Because I remember one of the lyrics saying, watch the monkey get hurt, monkey." Okay, the internet, so they're dweebling back and forth, blah blah blah. I gotta check this internet. I'm looking up the song right now, and it's taking its dumbass time. Google is. Let me see if I can find it here on the on the computer. There you go. Song by. Okay, here we go. Now, I may be wrong about this song here. Let me look it up here on the Wikipedia. Thank goodness for that. Give it a couple of minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. It's loading up. There you go. All right. It's a song by Peter Gabriel, released in September 1982 as his first single for the album Security, for his fourth self-titled album, which was issued under the U.S. under the name Security. Now, the song peaked at number 29 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100s and number one on the Billboard Hot Mainstream Rock Tracks chart. It was Gabriel's first top 40 hit in the US, and in the UK, the song charted at number 58. According to AllMusic, the song had a relentlessly repeated hook that, quote, sounded nothing like anything else at the radio at that time. Billboard called it a mysterious but infectious track, which blended synthesizers, distinctive vocal, and dance rhythms into fresh effect. Due to its title and the content of the video, the song is frequently assumed to be either an animal rights song or a reference to the famous experiments of one Stanley Milgram, described in his book Obedience to Authority from 1974. It is neither. While the Gabriel song We Do What We're Told, Milligram's 37, from his fifth studio album Soul from 1986, does deal directly with Milgram, Gabriel himself has characterized Shock the Monkey as a love song that examines how
What?
jealousy can release one's basic instincts. The monkey is not an actual monkey, but a metaphor for one's feelings of jealousy. Gabriel stated in an interview with Sounds magazine that the song Shock the Monkey lyrically presented him with the most difficulties. He mentioned that the song's lyrical motive was inspired by Hong Kong's lightning powers in the movie Hong Kong vs. Godzilla from 1962. For the song's musical arrangement, Gabriel intended to emulate influences of 1960s Motown music, but he believed that the final product was stylistically more modern. Now, if you ever saw the music video for that song, that's probably one of the most tripped out videos around that time, most definitely. So in a way, I
Yeah,
kind of like, so
call
it got kind of, excuse me, I kind of like got. So I always put my place in terms of that, thinking it was an animal rights song, but it does kind of resemble when you listen to some of the lyrics.
Calling it a love song is absolutely hilarious to me. Like that was the funniest thing.
Oh,
But
this
yeah, I'm
said,
reading that the monkey in the song is often interpreted as a metaphor for feelings of aggression, vulnerability, or primal instincts that are
mhm,
being shocked.
yeah, obviously. But then again, Huey Lewis said the same thing about "I want a new drug." Jokingly, I guess, maybe so, but I'm sorry, but we gotta talk about that song because it's like I want a drug that doesn't do this to me. I want a drug that doesn't make me sick. I want a drug that doesn't make me sleepy. I want somebody that's going to keep me going but not make me go berserk. I guess that was the original
Hmm.
intent of this song there,
Hmm.
because all
Yeah,
these.
that's a great one.
Yeah, I know, yeah, but it's like, aren't we all a little bit tired of musicians trying to be activists for whichever cause that they're partying,
Yes,
they're
yes, we
involved in?
are. Yes, we are.
Because
Yes,
it
we are.
has gotten a little bit there. I mean, like, Wire called it out when Green Day mentioned something derogatory about Donald Trump, and Wire was like, when he saw them live, and Wire was like, boo, when they did that. It's like, I guess, too many musicians out there are trying to be, just trying to, they figure if the public loves us, our music, they love what we stand for, hey, let's get involved with some, activism. I mean, like, to me, probably one of the true real activists that really stood for something was Frank Zappa. His only avocation was getting people to vote. In fact, I remember reading that some of his concerts they would have booths lined up for people can register to vote.
You, that's yeah, and that's a brilliant thing because his message, because he wanted people to vote, was he wanted less government control, less media manipulation, basically everything that we have
Ladies and
today.
gentlemen, I just wanted to say we
Mhm.
need to vote for Dr. Earl Brown. How dare we sit here and let YR tell us what to do with our bodies? We're not going back.
Oh, dude.
Speaking
I
of
had to do it for
YR, if he's
Earl. He knows
listening,
where I'm going with that. Only he. It's inside joke, Paul, between me
I
and
was
Earl.
I was going to say, what the fuck, dude?
It's an inside
YR, if
joke.
you're
Only
I
I'm
listening,
making
know.
fun of Kamala when she said, "How dare we let Trump tell us what to do with our bodies?"
Women
We're
are
YR,
going
not
to
if
do
you're
coming
whatever
listening,
their
back.
you're in
bodies,
this
no
room.
matter what, no matter whether it's piercing, abortion, or whatever it is. I mean, come on. I don't expect Trump to come up to my doorstep and tell me stop wearing black all the time.
Yo, why is YR said he would be on the show tonight?
I
If
know.
he's
So
listening out
yeah, I
there,
was hoping to hear his review of the Iron Maiden show that he went and saw over the weekend.
we all were.
And Paul Three, I have another inside joke for him that he might catch this one. See, Paul Three, you went there and fucked the porn star while your wife's back there making dinner. What are we saying? You got balls of an alley cat. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's what Biden said about Trump. He said we got balls of an alley
Jesus,
cat.
I'm,
At least Trump got some. When's the last time we heard about Joe Biden being happy with
Yeah, he
what
was
his wife did?
Paul Three. I don't know if you saw that clip, but he was so upset. He said, "Trump, you went there and you fucked a porn star while your wife was in labor." He said, "I don't even know how the porn star wanted to fuck you. Your balls are wrinkled up like a alley cat."
Jesus, what the hell? Our
How does he know
politicians
that Trump
just
has wrinkled balls, though? That's what I want to know.
our politicians are all insane. I just want no war, and I just want low interest rates and my crypto to be up, and I'll be happy. That's pretty much it.
I
Which it
went.
is. This is some news. This isn't music news, but let me just put it out there. Bitcoin is reaching record highs.
Mm,
It is almost at 100,000. It's at, I think, 98,000 right now.
mm.
And it, like, when Biden was in office, it was like 50,000, 45,000. So if you would have put, I don't know, 5 grand in, like when it was, a year ago, you would probably have 10 grand now. So invest in Bitcoin, invest in crypto. That is not financial advice. I'm just talking to you guys as friends.
Right,
If I would say, definitely look into it for sure.
right.
Right there. Now, one thing I want to make clear, I want to talk about this. Minnesota Vikings fan. He's got on he did the YouTube short and said something about, stop
Oh no,
liking.
he's still around.
Yeah, unfortunately, there. He's like, yo, fuck you,
He's
YR with
terrible.
these. He's terrible. He's an asshole. I know.
What he did to me, man, I'll never forget.
I know. It's like what he does said this the shit he said to me. I still haven't let go of. I know he's going to probably make a response short saying "fuck you, Dr. Brown," blah blah. Well, I speak the truth, man. Unlike yourself, the only thing he speaks is total hate. But he gets on there. He gets on there and says, said something about seeing all these tribute bands out there. Excuse me, why are Salt sees both legit and tribute bands? Thank you very much. Which is what I
Well,
wanted to
what?
speak about. It's like female tribute bands. Have you seen a few of them, guys, around your area?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. When I
Hmm.
was in Vegas, I
Yeah,
seen a
there's
lot of
the
tribute bands. Hell, I
there's the
want if I had to
Iron
live in
Maiden.
Vegas. I never said this, but I'm gonna say it now. If I had to go to Vegas, and since I have the long hair, either I would be. If I had to do a tribute band, the two favorite artists I would tribute to is either Bob Marley or Lenny Kravitz, because I know I can
Mm,
pull that off.
I know, yeah. All you need is a little bit of your dreads extension, that's for sure, there to do both. But I know
Yeah,
a
I love
lot of things I've been seeing as of late. Now, have you heard of the Iron Maidens by chance?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. The Iron Maidens, I've heard of them, and I'll sneak it in real quick. I know of them, and I know of the band Les Zeppelin, who is
Yeah, I
a
heard of them
female.
too. Yes, because I guess a couple of members of Les Zeppelin are lesbian, for I understand. I guess mainly the guitarist. They're a Zeppelin
I have
tribute
no
band.
idea.
Hmm.
I have no damn clue about that, but it's a catchy name, and like I never forgot it.
Yes. Now I've seen a lot of on especially on Facebook female tribute bands. This group, that group. There's for example there's Black Sabbath, which which is a tribute to Black Sabbath. There's another called
right.
Evil Woman, named after one of their songs, and there's also Mistress of Reality. There's also
Wow.
ACD She, a tribute to ACDC. There's another one called Hell's Bells, and one that's a friend of mine on Facebook who lives in Vegas, by the way. She's a guitar player for this cover group called Sugar. I'm friends with her on Facebook. She was part of this female ECDC group called Thigh Voltage. Now also
Right.
there's also an all-female tribute group called to paying homage to Metallica called Miss Metallica.
That's good. What would a female Beatles tribute be called?
I do not know. That's a good question. Or what about the Rolling Stones? Would it be the Rolling Stonettes?
The Rolling Stoneless.
Stoneless. Oh, geez.
I love Vegas. I love Vegas. I had the best time every time I go there. I only go there like once a year, every now and then. I used to go all the time, every vacation I had, but now I stopped doing that. It's
Yeah.
just it's expensive, ridiculous.
Speaking of Vegas, shout out to Mars Mirror who lives there. By the way, it's been a while since we heard from him. Hope we can get a hold of him sometime to join one of our programs.
Right?
He's not a part of the crew that is harassing YR.
Right. But he talks, but that's between him and YR. So I got to say, well, actually, you know what? I should. But we see a lot of. I guess the idea is that the women can pay homage to rock and roll idols that they listen to, whether it's Black Sabbath. I know Lita Ford mentioned that Black Sabbath was one of her favorites. In fact, I believe she was also involved romantically with Tony Iommi at one point.
You know, it would be smart if there was like a female Alice Cooper tribute, but she just like called herself Alice because it would totally
Mm.
work.
Oh, there. Oh, by the way, there's a female tribute to King Diamond, Queen Diamond, performing songs from Diamond's solo career and Merciful Fate as well. Definitely.
Damn.
And also,
That
there's a tribute to the all-female tribute to the band Slade, the '70s glam rock band who did "Come On Feel the Noise," "Mama We're All Crazy Now" before Quiet Riot got a hold of them. They called themselves Slady, which is a combination of Slade and the word lady mixed into one.
wow.
I saw them on Facebook a couple times, and I guess now I'm also waiting for a. Now, surprisingly, there's no tribute. I know there's tributes to Heart. That's for sure. There's a few out there. I know. I guess one will play the concert pub by a 1960 road a long, long while back there. I was hoping to check that out, but something got caught up in along the way there, work wise. But however, there's so many. We also got to mention all the female rock bands that have been out there. I'm surprised there's no tribute to the Runaways yet,
There's
because when you,
probably Joan Jett tributes out there, maybe, but she's still going strong. So
yeah,
a lot of the bands that are like still touring, I feel like the tributes aren't like it's not such a good idea to have a tribute for an act like that. But bands that you can't see anymore, like that's where it's at. Like I played with a band. Oh God, what they were a Led Zeppelin tribute band. What the hell was their name? But they were super popular and they were pretty good. And they're on tour, I think, with Zach Wild or some. They're on tour
mm,
with a major act right now. Shit, I cannot remember the. I
I
feel
have an
bad.
idea that is so wild, guys. It's one of my dreams. Not to cut you off, Paul Three, but I have an
mm,
idea that is just unheard of. Paul Three, you might look at that. Prince is on something. He's on a whole different level. I don't want to do a tribute band. I want to make the next Motley Crue band. I want to dye my long dreads blonde and be the
mm.
next Vince Neil
Oh, I think
and
there's
have
a
my
tribute.
band be like Motley Crue.
Oh, by the way, I think there's also
Sing,
a female tribute band to Motley Crue out there,
Oh
as
yes, there
well
can
as
is.
you
Yes, there
sing?
is.
one to Guns N' Roses called Paradise Kitty.
Prince, can you sing?
Yeah, like
Like
Vince.
sing,
Like
girl?
that's the only rock star I know how to imitate, along with like Billy Idol when he goes, "I don't fall in love." That's the only people I can imitate is Billy Idol and Vince Neil. Like I don't understand. I can't do any other rock stars. The only two rock stars I can imitate, and it's a damn shame because I love Prince and I can't do Prince for shit.
Will you send
I can
us
do his dance moves, but I can't do his voice. Prince had a
send us
unique
a video of you doing
voice.
like Home Sweet Home or something like that? I want to hear you sing.
What you said, "Home Sweet Home" by
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner. I only know "Home Sweet Home" from Motley Crue.
Mm,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Molly Crew. Why would not Leonard Skinner?
Hold on.
hmm
Vince is
Oh,
more like his vocal range is more. Ooh, I'm a dreamer, and my heart is getting blue. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home, sweet home.
that was fucking horrendous. But I appreciate the effort.
well, better than Vince Neil,
Well, you
that's for
never seen a
sure.
black guy do Vince Neil?
No, I
You
gotta
never
say
seen
that's
a black guy sing like Vince Neil before. I know, it's unheard of.
Probably
It's
singing better
bizarre.
than Vince Neil because you remember all the flack he was getting for years ago when he was all ballooned up, and some people still say that today. They can't make out what he's saying currently.
And then like I like how he did the first album. Ooh, I'm wired, cause I'm alive. Love
Too fast for love.
wire. I love how he did that too.
I know, great album by the way. By the way, I was able
Great
to.
album.
By the way, I was able
Great
to
fucking album.
download the original album before it got picked up by Elektra and remixed by Roy Thomas Baker. I have that on my phone here. Okay, we got so many of them. We got Ramona, which is a tribute to the Ramones, and named after one of their songs. There's also, let's not forget this, Zepparella, which is another Zeppelin
Right.
tribute band comprised of all women. Joni Joni, which, by the way, is an all-female tribute to Duran Duran. That's out there.
Right.
hmm There's also the Ramonas are the UK's best tribute band to the forefronters of punk rock, the Ramones.
Right.
And of course,
You
there's
know, Earl, we need to get a band going. I
mm,
want because YR he can play too. I want YR on bass or maybe rhythm. I want you on lead. I want myself on lead, and I also want myself on vocals because I don't. I mean, I don't see YR singing. I don't see you singing.
I'm not a
We need to get
singer.
Paul Three in there. Paul Three can probably play the drums or sing as well.
You know, we got to do that. Definitely. We got to hit up YR sometime
I mean,
later on this
if
week.
I had to make a band, I would make it with you because, dude, your guitar playing is like I thought I was motherfucking good. Earl, I'm
Yes.
not kissing your ass, but I don't have to kiss your ass and give you your flowers. Your guitar playing is like, dude, like you've been playing for years.
Hmm.
Like, my God, Earl, the stuff that you be chopping up is different.
I know a
That
lot.
shit is different.
I know. I remember when I first did that on Joe Cronin's Monetize This. Dave Rose was on call. It's like, is she actually shredding? Holy cow!
That's what I said when I first saw you do it. I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be him. That cannot be him. And then I saw you make an actual video, and I was like, oh shit, he's a wizard on
Which
that
one?
guitar.
Which one? The Planet Caravan cover or the blues one I did?
I seen both.
Nice.
YR sent it to me. He's like, no, it was YR himself that told me, no, Earl can play.
Mm,
Earl can fucking play.
mm. All right.
And I said, I had to see it to believe it. And then when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, he
Mm,
can, dude, you got some chops with your
mm.
fingers, bro. You got some fast fingers.
Thank you. Oh, back to the tribute, female tribute act.
It's almost like you actually played in a band back in the day. That's what I'm
Well, actually,
saying.
I never did. Well, I only jammed with a couple of people left or right, a couple of buddies back when I was in Michigan. That was about it. But I was also close to being part of a music project with a keyboard player and his buddy who was a bass
You're,
player.
if
But
you don't
unfortunately,
mind me
the fault.
saying,
Go
Earl,
ahead.
your style reminds me of a combination of Mick Mars from Motley Crue,
Motley Crue.
Joe Perry
Mm-hmm.
from Aerosmith, and Slash, all
Mm,
combined into one.
nice.
Like you embody those guys.
I mean, Earl, like, there's a lot of bands and like original bands around like my area, tribute bands, cover bands, everything. Like, and I don't know what it's like in Michigan, your music scene, but like around here, you'd have no problem like getting in a band, be gigging and stuff like that for
Yeah,
sure.
I know. It's
Right.
like, but then again, hmm.
But you said
Let,
my singing was shitty,
Or you're
Paul.
in
You said
Florida.
it was cringe.
You're in Florida now, but there's music. There's plenty of
Prince
music down in Florida.
Prince is in Texas.
Yeah,
Oh no shit.
I'm in
Plenty of music in
Florida.
Texas too.
a lot of bands in Texas.
Mm.
Well, in Houston, I don't know about Dallas, but in Houston, they got a lot of bands out there. I'm
Oh yeah.
sure.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
like
not
I said,
forget the band Hellstar featuring James Rivera. I guess they
yeah,
were along for
The
many
thing
years.
about the thing I want to tell Paul Three, the thing I think about my voice is I don't think my voice is unique. I just think it's raspy, like Axl Rose. It's like a raspy. It's different. It's like you said, it's like Vince Neil. It's something like no one's ever heard before. It's just different.
you just got to make sure you're on key. That's the only thing. You got to work on your key. You got to get a piano. You got to hit the piano note and then try.
Practice either way, dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to sharpen it up a little bit.
Okay, there. So
I used to like listen to what's his name, Adam Lambert. I always thought Adam Lambert had a great voice. The lead
mm,
singer for Queen, dude, that dude has some fucking pipes.
mm,
He can
Yeah.
fucking sing.
I hate that he's the singer for Queen. Like, I don't know. Nobody could replace Freddie Mercury, in my opinion.
nobody. That's true. There, nobody.
Yes, Freddie had a good voice too.
Freddie was unique in every aspect of his
Yes, he
performance, his
was.
songwriting, and everything else. But then again, you got to remember, he's no longer with us. He's been deceased since 1991. So
Yes, he has.
the only thing we
Love
could do
Freddie
is
though.
go respect Adam Lambert for filling his shoes like he is. Now, there's an all-female tribute to Kiss called Priss that's out there.
Wow.
It is prides itself as being the only tribute band to perform on the Kiss Cruise and Kid Rock Cruise. Now, now there's also the Bitch Fits, which is a tribute to the Misfits, Glenn Danzige's old band, and also there's Vag Halen. It's the queer cock rock Toronto-based tribute to Van Halen, but they don't stop there. A regular show consists of covers of old hard rock and hits. And because now I'm going to go on to this one here. 11 of the coolest all-female tribute bands out there. Let's see if I can find it here according to BuzzFeed.com. Blah blah blah. Oh, of course, so AC/DC, as I mentioned. There's also a Mistelica. Of course, the Bitch Fits, a Misfits cover band from Southern California. There's also just check out. Of course, you cannot forget the Iron Maidens, featuring Nikki Stringfield, Courtney Cox on guitar. That's the one I'd like to check out sometime soon. Most definitely there.
Yeah, they were just in my town actually
Uh,
recently, but I
all
didn't get
right.
to check them out. But I would definitely like to. But Maiden was just around here too, but I didn't get to see that show either.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised that the Iron Maidens didn't add a third guitar player, making it a six women lineup like my Iron Maiden has at the moment.
Right.
But I guess you're going through the classic Maiden sound and structure with the five members that they already have, whereas Maiden in the past was five members before Adrian Smith came
Yeah,
back in 2020. I mean, excuse me,
it's always
Right.
2021.
nice
My bad.
watching guitar players live. If I was gigging in a stadium, like my band was like really really like known, we were on like a world tour, shit, and we could hire another guitar player, I would have a guy hired no problem, be playing extra rhythm parts to kind of fatten everything up. Because like if you look at Creed, like when YR saw Creed, he pointed out they have another guitar player on stage and they
As
didn't
backup. Yes, back.
exactly. So I
Yes.
mean, uh,
Nirvana did that when he hired Pat Smear to be like add extra volume to their live shows.
good call, yes, he
And
was
would
on
you
the
know, Pat Smear
unplugged.
will end up joining the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, yeah. And he was on the Unplugged for Nirvana as well, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of odd, but cool how someone added on to the mix can become a
That's
part of.
who Paul through reminds me of. That's who remind me of the guy that used to fill in for Axl Rose. What's his name? The lead singer that used to be like the front man that used to be for Guns N' Roses. What's his name? What's his name? He sings
Um,
for Alter Bridge.
oh, you mean Miles Kennedy?
Yeah, Miles
Yes,
Kennedy.
bro, that's who you remind me of. You remind me of Miles Kennedy. I don't know why. I
Mm.
just thought about that. You remind me of Miles Kennedy. The hairstyle, the look. You remind me of like a young Miles Kennedy, like with a better singing voice, with better notes, better quality, better
Yeah.
mindset. Like you're the image that Miles Kennedy wants to be in his head.
I just wish I had his bank account. That's all.
Yeah, because
Yeah, he
other
does have a
than
good bank
Slash,
account.
Ultra Bridge, he does a lot of. In fact, here's something else. I remember hearing on the local radio station back when I was in Michigan that there was a possibility that Led Zeppelin could go on tour with Jason Bonham on drums, filling in for his deceased dad, but Miles Kennedy doing the vocals. But that idea
Right.
definitely got shot down because what's Led Zeppelin without Robert Plant?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, Robert Plant doesn't want to do it, but yeah, you can't use the name Zeppelin. That's listen, guys, and thank you, Earl. You kind of just proved my point in this whole Lincoln Park thing. What is Lincoln
Mhm.
Park without Chester Bennington? That Emily Armstrong? Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Mm. Well, I guess.
I don't even like Lincoln Park, and if I did, it's like when I did like him, I only like one song, and that's the song "If in the End It
Yep,
Doesn't
that's the
Even
main one.
Matter." That's the only song I can think of Lincoln Park. I can't think of anything else they did.
What about crawling? Crawling.
Calling in, yeah, I heard that one
I
too.
remember hearing that many times.
It's that.
The only problem I had with Linkin Park was the simple fact that they
And
were kind of like,
that duet
you know,
song with
whatever.
Jay-Z, they did.
Oh, that collision course thing there. That
Yeah.
I wasn't really big on that because it was like a crossover between two talents, and come on, give me a break.
I mean, I always liked when rap and rock, kind of would mix the Beach Boys and the Fat Boys, ACD, or I
Run,
mean Aerosmith and
Run
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 DMC.
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 Yep.
Yes, I
That
mean,
was a good song though. That was a good song.
oh,
Bum,
Yeah.
I
Or cover, I should
love
say. It
that.
was
That was a
their
good song.
what's that?
well, actually the it was a cover of their old hit, "Walk This Way."
Yeah, yeah. But
Walk this way. I love that. Song
but the
this way.
original
You told me to walk this way. That's
in
another rock star who is retired because he can't sing or hit the notes no more. Steven
Mm.
Tyler. I heard he had to call it quits because he couldn't hit the notes no more.
Oh man. Oh, here's something else. You mentioned about a female tribute to Alice Cooper. Malice
Mm.
Cooper. She's from
Ah,
Canada. She holds a day job as a metal DJ, so her hobby doesn't seem too out of the ordinary. How great is that? That Alice Cooper himself is her bud. And
That
also, let's
wow.
not forget a tribute to Slayer, all female tribute to Slayer called Slay Whore.
Speaking of Alice Cooper, I actually went to a club out in I think where was that?
Mm.
Where was I? I don't know what state I was in. But I went to a club and I got a lap dance by one of Alice Cooper's songs by a stripper. I think it was
Mm.
"Freed My Franken." Yeah, man, I was
Oh yeah.
I was
Or Be
getting
My
in,
Lover.
man.
That's
I
another
was
one.
wild back in the day, Paul. I'm sorry, I was a wild man.
Oh, and speaking of Aerosmith, there's a female tribute to Aerosmith called Lady Smith.
okay, that one is not as witty as the other ones. Slay whore was the funniest one I've heard yet.
Oh
That was
yeah,
pretty.
I know. It's like, oh, there's
All
Cheap
three. If you
Chick.
wasn't married, bro, I would hang out with you every day. We go to the club and have the girls dancing us. Feed
Oh,
my Frankenstein, bro. We
no, I
would be
haven't been to
going
the strip
lit,
club
bro.
in
We would go
ages. I should
crazy.
probably go with you cats. Oh,
I would I would ruin the party and I would put on a ballad of Dwight Fry and then freak everybody out.
oh gosh.
Why, bro? Why? Leave it how it is, man. Just have fun.
Oh man. Oh, by the way,
See, this is the reason why I got to meet Earl, because me and Earl likes going to the clubs on his scene, so I know we'll have fun. Earl's the
oh
man.
man, you're gonna have a good time when you go to the castle sometime. That's for sure. I mean, I'm going to get YR down here sometime, see if he can handle it. Oh, here's one. Cheap Chick. A tribute to Cheap Trick. That's all
Cheap
female.
shit.
Yes, it's an all female tribute to Cheap Trick.
Oh, cheap chick. Okay, yeah, no, that's pretty good. That's
I
decent.
already
But
mentioned Vag. And by the way, I'm reading this from BuzzFeed.com, by the way. And also, here's another one. And that's about it so far of all the top 11 female tribute bands that are out there. All right. Including the ones we mentioned there. I'm sure there's probably some. I'm surprised there's not a tribute to the Runaways that's all female, since the Runaways are considered one of the original Riot Girls, as was termed. It was back in the 1990s, in terms of, and I'm hoping that there's no female tribute to Hole, Courtney Love's old
now
band.
hear me out on this one. All male tribute of to the Runaways. Now that would be weird.
I can imagine the singer coming out there with a blonde wig and wearing all sorts of lingerie, because that's what Sherry Curley from their old singer used to do.
Yeah, Sherry Curry. Yeah, I was actually gonna open for her at one point, but then
Mm.
like her management, they like backed out the last minute pretty
Oh
much,
man.
and they didn't show up. But I think I don't know if she's like kind of like blacklisted by a lot of people because I think she is kind of outspoken with her political beliefs.
Mm.
I could be wrong though. I think so.
Oh, I don't know myself there. I know she was I know she questioned a lot of motives that the Democrat side had did in the past. I remember seeing that on her Facebook page a few times before. I think she also
Yeah.
earns money as a chainsaw artist.
Oh, another band. I think they have a. Well, like, I think I saw like a. I don't know. I wait. Yeah, there is a female tribute band to that, and that's the Hollywood Vampires with Johnny Depp and Alice Cooper.
Oh,
Yeah,
Female,
they have
wait a minute,
a
but there's no
female version of
females.
that too.
But there's no female. It'll be the female tribute to the Hollywood Vampires. Is that
Yeah, they
correct?
have one.
Mm. And let me look it up on the let me look it up here. Give me a second there.
Maybe not a tribute band. Maybe just like just a put together band, but I don't think they're famous. But I do remember seeing
Oh.
one.
Oh, there's a female tribute to the Beatles, Magical Mystery Girls.
that's
The Mona
funny.
Lisa
Wow.
there's a duo called the Mona Lisa Twins doing
Is there
again.
one for
Oh,
the Doors?
I mean, let me
For the
look it
Doors
up
because I know
right
a lot of
now there.
females
Let's
like to
see
dress
here.
up as Jim Morrison. I seen that on Halloween. This past Halloween, I seen a lot of females dress up as Jim Morrison. I thought that was
There
unique
you go.
but hot.
Let's see here. LA Woman, a
Oh
tribute to
yeah,
the
that's what it
Doors.
was. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I think it's possibly maybe it's an all male group there. That's about it. That's all I know of.
Well, no, an all-female tribute band to the Doors would be called the Whores.
Mm,
That would
Shut up,
what?
Sean. You said we called the hordes.
Mm,
that would sell. No, I saw a male tribute band to the Doors. Actually, we played a show with them, and they were amazing. This guy, he had like the leather pants and everything, and the organ that was being played was like owned by Ray Manzarek previously, and like they
mm.
had it there and shit. So that was pretty cool.
All right. Rest in peace, Ray Manzarek. You always told some great stories about Jim back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, I was kind of devastated when Ray passed, and that shit. That's been like 10 years now, if
I
not
know
more.
exactly. More than 10 years. He passed away in 2013 there.
Did you see John Densmore came out in support of
You
Harris?
know,
No
since you
surprise.
said female tribute band, I think because she had the gimmick when she was a wrestler. I think who would make a great for like a Motley Crue tribute band. I think Tony Storm would make a great Vince Neil.
Mm. All she needs to do, well, since she's retired from AEW and wrestling altogether, she maybe take if she's a good singer, she could possibly take up that option.
Yeah, I think she would make a great female Vince Neil. She got the hair for it, the blonde hair, and she already had the wrestling style for it at one
Yeah,
point.
exactly. Oh, she got the looks. No, most definitely for sure.
That's hilarious.
What you think, Paul? Three Tony Storm as a
Of all
female Vince Neil. What you think?
people,
She definitely has the style, the look for it.
She
I
has
was
well,
thinking
she's got to have it a little bit more longer than what she has. Most definitely. If she's going to go for the shot the devil period, she's got to definitely shag it up with lots of hairspray.
that is
I
just
mean,
the
she did the
first
Marilyn Monroe gimmick so perfectly
picture.
well.
Yeah.
It was the
And
most
also,
hilarious
let's not.
connection
How about a
I've
female
ever seen.
tribute to Poison?
She would kill it. She
Hmm.
would nail it. I'm pretty sure she would nail it.
We need a tribute to Warrant because those songs were actually super
Bro,
amazing.
Warrant is my
And
favorite.
I
Sweet
remember
cherry
I
pie.
seen them
Pour a
twice
drink
when
of
you
water.
I saw them
That's my
three
favorite
times
band, by
when
the
they
way. I
played the
love
Ritz in
Warrant.
Roseville back around 88 till 89. That's when their first record came out. First couple of times I saw them first was when they opened for Paul Stanley at the Ritz in Roseville, and about months later when that album broke big, I saw them again. I even got the autograph them when they did a signing at Harmony House in Macomb Mall in Roseville.
here's my song of the day. I usually get something out to everybody to listen to. Everybody, check it out. Warrant, like I said, it's an amazing band. Janie Lane is an amazing songwriter.
Mhm.
Yes,
Everybody
she
listen
is.
to the song Warrant, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
I heard
That
it.
song is
I heard
amazing.
it, man.
You
I
ever
heard
seen the
it.
movie? I'm pretty sure Paul Threes know this movie. I back when I was in like middle school, I dated this girl. Shout out to her. I'm gonna give her name out because she's a content creator. Her name is Morgan Taylor, one of my ex girlfriends. The only reason why I dated her was because I thought she looked like the girl from what's that movie? Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Ever heard that movie?
Yes. Give me the
She
Christina
looked just like that
Applegate.
blonde chick in there. She looked like Bobby Brown, Janie Lee's wife. She
Mm.
looked just like Bobby Brown. I was like, okay, I'm dating her. That's the
Mm.
only reason why I dated her, Paul, because she looked like Bobby Brown. I said, oh yes, sweet cherry pie. Oh yes.
Who you may remember was the Mrs. Janie Lane for a few years until she cheated on his ass.
And
She
Jane,
have you ever? You guys got to read her book, man. Her book was very wow. They don't need to make a Netflix movie about that book
Jane's
ever.
story is so tragic,
They
you know,
might, they
like
might, they might make. You know what? That may be in the works sometime soon, since all these stories, autobiographies, are being made into movies as such.
I mean, the Dirt book by Motley Crue should never been a movie, but they made it in a movie, and they didn't say too much in it. I mean, the Dirt, I love the Dirt. It was a great movie, but they left a few things out, in that movie that I'm glad they did because I had
Which
the
it,
book, I
which, it,
read the book,
which,
and
what did
it was
they
very
leave out?
graphic.
Which did leave out? The time when Vince Neil killed Razzle,
No, other things, other foolish things they did, like Tommy Lee's whole weird situation with his
Pamela
sex
Anderson.
scandal and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the sex tape he made with his then wife Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, they didn't mention every detail about Motley Crue. I'm glad they didn't.
One of the things I couldn't understand is was the a movie made for VH1 about Def Leppard called Hysteria, the Def Leppard story. The end of it at the end of the movie when Hysteria came out, and they played their first concert, to promote that album, and that was about
Oh,
it. They didn't
I'm
get to
sorry
the.
to leak this, but the creators, because I looked into it, someone shared this with me. The creators who did Dirt are actually going to make another movie, and I think just by the name, you should guys know what band this is. The movie is called Paradise City.
Oh yeah, Guns N' Roses.
Dude, that movie's gonna be fucking fire. It's set to come out, I think, what, this year coming up
Hmm.
this summer. So be on the
Oh,
lookout for that. It's like this Guns N' Roses movie coming by Netflix.
Yeah, I'm not the
Paradise
big.
City.
To be honest, I am not the biggest Guns N' Roses fan. I am not the biggest Motley
So
Crue.
you wouldn't go out to go see Paradise City on Netflix. You wouldn't see that movie.
No, not really. I would like to see something on Janie Lane. I'm just like super
It
picky.
tells the story of Guns N'
Sure.
Roses, and it also tells the story on how Slash and Axl broke up, basically.
mm,
I want to hear the
Spoiler
Janie
alert, my
Lane
bad.
story
Spoiler
because
alert.
he was like such a great songwriter trying to like make it in that era of hair metal and all that bullshit where you had to like have such a big weird image, and then it all came crashing down on him with grunge, and then
yeah,
he
an
super fucked.
alternative.
And if you remember the VH1 show, oh geez, I can't actually remember what it is, but they would go there, bring celebrities, and they would get sober. Janie Lane was on that show on.
Celebrity Rehab.
Yes, there with Dr. Drew, Janie Lane,
Yeah.
or yeah, Dr. Drew. Janie Lane was on that show, and he kind of had a career resurgence, and he got clean for a while. And there's some concerts out there. I think it's there. It's in L.A. of Janie Lane in 2009, maybe.
Mhm.
Of his solo thing, dude. He sounds fucking pitch perfect. His voice really never really left him. But then I think it maybe a couple years later, he was found dead in a hotel room.
Yeah.
So
You know what? Here's
Wow.
you know what? Here's something else. I remember there was this big metal edge tour. It was Dokken, Warrant, and a couple other hair metal bands. And I guess the problem was, they couldn't get Janie out of his hotel room because he was so fucked up at that time. So they had decided, then let's all go on stage, but Warren is unable to. They had to cancel him out there. Now the thing is, you got to remember they had to come up with an excuse like, oh, there was issues with traffic and everything else. Traffic was built up. And the reason they came up with that lie was because they're afraid of getting sued by the promoter for what is called breach of contract. Like you allowed yourself to get yourself in this position, knowing full well you got this show to do. And so I guess, at that time, Warrant was not doing well financially wise, and I guess, they had to come up with that lie. Remember, many hair metal
yeah,
bands who was kind of somewhat made it big, had to struggle like hell after the 1990s because they lost their major label support. They had to sign with this indie label. They had to sign with this management company as I take whatever money they can. The paychecks had a lot less zeros on it. Like the
we
1990s was a very hard time for all these groups.
even like I mean, there's only been a recent resurgence. I feel like in the Sunset Strip type of hair metal music,
Hmm.
and like if Janie Lane was still alive today. Oh my God, he'd be making hand over fist touring. He'd be like on the level, what Brett Michaels is doing right now. And like Brett Michaels is having some of his highest of highs career wise musically, in my opinion, because I see what he does in my area than he's ever had. Like Bret Michaels is absolutely killing it right now. People go crazy when Motley Crue go if they want to go back on tour or whatever. People go nuts. Janie Lane, he would have been doing just fine, and it makes me so sad that his end was that bad.
It's just sad that a good life had to be wasted on drug use.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. and alcohol as well. A lot of talent has been lost to drug and alcohol use for sure.
Exactly. This is one another reason why I'm against drug use, like I am.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I
Right
don't blame
there.
you, man.
So, any final words on we want to throw out there before we end the show, guys?
I just want to say, Kerchie YR, wherever you're at, you need to
Why
community.
are you should have joined the call, man? We were hoping that you would give us a review of Iron Maiden. We'll probably have to wait till next Thursday for that to go down. And Prince,
Right,
those other
right.
couple of things you wanted to say, I guess before we started the show, or did you already say them?
I already said them. I already said them.
Okay, there.
On, on
So
how
right,
the generation of today, the youth today of music is not where it should be. A lot of
uh,
young kids are influenced by the wrong things, bro. By the
social
wrong
media being
things.
one of them. I agree. A lot of kids need to stop, being on Twitter, stop being on this Facebook here or there. Lay off of that for quite some time. Get out there, start meeting
I
people
mean,
one
Twitter
on
is not
one.
bad. I mean, well, it's become bad. Elon Musk would let it go. It can become back to where it was. But the main thing that tributes towards what the young kids are doing today is as TikTok. TikTok is horrible.
I'm sorry. I'm not on
A lot of kids
TikTok,
have
thank
died
goodness.
with the TikTok challenges and everything that TikTok has put out. A
The
lot of kids have
fentanyl
died.
challenge, remember that?
Yeah, the tie
It's not
dye.
even.
There was so many challenges that have young kids die from.
I
TikTok
know,
is
I
just
know.
the most horrible thing.
I wonder sometimes if there's some schmowat out there who comes up with these challenges purposely to get rid of all these kids out there and be naive that these children are. They go forward thinking if they don't do it, they'll be looked on as cowards and such. I guess, somebody
Yeah,
out there,
TikTok.
I don't know who comes up with these things that these kids get into, whether it's pouring, drinking, cost pouring Mountain Dew into their own assholes, or the Bentonol challenge and such, or snorting condoms through their nose. You may remember that from years ago, man.
Right.
But
Nah,
kids
that's
need to
fucked
lay
up.
off of that. Kids need to lay off of social media once in a while.
The only safe challenge they had was the ice bucket challenge, where you just pour ice on people. That wasn't that bad. That wasn't
Because
that bad. That was the most safest challenge.
the purpose of that was to let people know how ALS feels onto one's body. When you get dumped with a bunch of chilled ass ice and ice water, that's going to make your body like that, kind of like what ALS does to the body altogether. So I can understand what that was coming from. But however, why you waste all that amounts of water on this particular challenge, knowing that you could take some of that water, send it to some areas in Africa where there hardly is any water.
Yeah,
You got a
that's
point there. You got a
true.
point.
You
You
think
got a
about
strong
that.
point there.
Think about that there,
Yeah,
You got a
guys.
point.
All right, there. So I guess this concludes our episode of Music Maniacs for this evening, folks. YR.
Me myself, I wouldn't want the ice bucket challenge. I want the Gatorade, like I do in sports. I want someone to pour a bucket of Gatorade on me. I think that's awesome.
There you go.
I love
Let's
it.
get that started. Let all the money can
Yeah,
be raised
the
for
Gatorade
for
challenge,
that sounds a lot better option.
or like a Kool
what
Aid. Give me some Kool Aid, some
flavor?
ice cold Kool Aid on me.
A
What
cool
flavor of Gatorade do we pour
Cherry,
for?
mm,
cherry or strawberry Kool Aid. Yeah,
lemon
yeah.
lime.
Lemon
Yeah,
lime. Oh yes, yeah.
classic, classic. I want the blue raspberry personally. I want the blue,
Oh, you spoiled brat.
the cool blue.
Mm,
Kool Blue would be awesome.
Thanks for having me, brother.
lime cucumber.
Oh no,
Not
no, that's a death sentence. No, anything but that.
Okay, there.
mango, a mango flavor.
Okay.
Mango. Oh God.
I would do it. Yeah,
I would say,
or the
as a crude joke, I would say, the many people in Jonestown back in 1978 did the Kool-Aid challenge, but I'm not going to throw that in there. But, or
no,
actually already did, but you kind of see where I'm going with that one there. All right,
no.
so,
The glacier freeze, the white kind,
mm,
is really good. I think
mhm.
it's or cherry glacier or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, fuck you, YR.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess he'll
They
probably
even
hit
have
us
like
up
Jolly
later.
Rancher Kool Aid. They have Jolly Rancher Kool Aid. I think
There you
Jolly
go.
Rancher Kool Aid would be awesome to be poured on. Jolly Ranchers
All right.
Kool Aid.
That sounds like diabetes.
It
Oh
does, but it
man.
tastes so good.
Unless it's Gatorade Zero, which there is no sugar.
Yeah, but then they put all that fake weird like sucralose and all kind of like cancer causing shit in it then too. You can't win. Just drink, ladies and gentlemen, just drink water.
All right, there.
You should just drink water.
All right, there. I think your wife's calling you, dude.
All right,
All right.
let's wrap this
Okay,
up.
so
Let's wrap it up.
okay, let's wrap it up. Got stuff for myself to take care of, All right, so this concludes our episode of Music Maniacs for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. For Paul 3 and for Prince Sato and myself,
Yes,
we
sir.
thank everybody for coming hanging with us. And don't forget, this coming Saturday night at about 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be premiering the new techno set that I conjured up earlier this week. So definitely tune in for that one, ladies and gentlemen. And subscribe to my
Long
channel.
live rock and roll.
Subscribe to my
Long
channel. Hit that
live
like
rock
button. And
and
don't